Hey guys, Wilfie here. Welcome to Steering Wheel Cam. I still haven't worked out a better alternative, so sorry about that. It's been a while since I've recorded and uploaded one of these. I was actually recording one Tuesday evening, and I was even talking about why I was so sad, and I was waiting for a phone call that I really didn't want, and that call came on Tuesday night when I was in the middle of recording that, and I was not in a good state to continue the video after the fact, so pour one out for my late great Aunt Lynn. She passed away last Tuesday from the fucking Wu flu. And I just want to offer a hearty up yours to all of the pro-vaccine people who insist that, oh, we need to mandate the vaccine because these stupid assholes don't know better for themselves. We know better for people than they do. She was fully vaccinated, and she got the Wu flu and died anyway. So, yeah, fuck you vaccine people. And yes, I had the shot, so you don't get to call me an anti-vaxxer. I'm an anti-dictator type. You might actually call me an anti-fascist. Except I don't identify with Antifa because I'm not a terrorist. But yeah, she was mid-70s, wonderful lady, wicked sense of humor, and unflappable. A long tradition in my family of very strong-willed women, my mother included, and the world is diminished in my aunt's absence, but you know, it depends on what you believe about the afterlife, if anything, and I'm officially agnostic. But there's a part of me that hopes there is something upstairs that had room for her. Because if there's an upstairs and they didn't take her, then it's nothing I'd want anything to do with. But, you know. Rest in peace, Aunt Lynn. I had to fly out. I flew out to Las Vegas to visit my parents, and the trip was planned before my aunt got sick. And you know, the part that really sucks is that she died one day before I arrived, before I got out there. So I didn't get a chance to say goodbye to her. And that's going to eat me up for a good long time. And my dad says not to let that bother me. I don't know, it's easier said than done, but they were with her when she passed, so at least there's that. Wow, the cops are out here in force. But anyway, that's depressing way to start a video. Sorry about that. I actually had a different topic, and I'm going to focus on that because dwelling on my aunt really just bums me out. I don't feel like doing that again today. The jet lag is real. God, you wouldn't think that a 3-hour time difference would really be much, but ugh. The flight left to Vegas at I want to say 6 o'clock Eastern, and then it was a 4.5-hour flight, you know, wheels up to wheels down. So I ended up in Vegas around 8 in the evening, I think. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 10, 9, yeah, 8 o'clock. And by the time I had my luggage and everything, and out at the curb waiting to get picked up, it was about 8:15, something like that. And so I had been up that morning since about 6 o'clock a.m. Eastern. And here I am landing and getting my stuff at 11:15 Eastern in Las Vegas. And that And then there's an hour ride to, get to my parents' place because they live out in Pahrump, which is about an hour outside of Vegas. So, yeah, that whole day was a complete clusterfuck. And then, of course, the return trip, the flight, I had to get up at, about 5 o'clock Pacific time, which is 8 o'clock here, and get ready and pack and everything and get back to the airport by really 7 o'clock, because McCarran International's TSA are complete cunts, and I'll get to that. That's actually the core of my rant. But yeah, so I'm on a plane at 11 o'clock in the morning Pacific, and it lands at 6 o'clock Eastern. So from waking up and then it being dark and 8 o'clock with me driving home was, 12 hours? So, messes with your head, man. And then I couldn't sleep because, of course, I was wound up and excited to be home because of my cats, and they're all okay. They're all pissed at me, but they're okay. Well, I say they're pissed at me. They gave me the silent treatment for a good 10 minutes, and then they swarmed me, because that's how cats do. Blue especially. He was like, I don't know, I don't like you, I don't trust you, you disappeared, you're a clone. And then he's up on the desk next to me, like, not sure if it's me, if he wants to get near me. I picked him up and snuggled him in an instant purr time, and he was all happy. So yeah, the cats are okay. They have forgiven me. But yeah, on to the main rant. See, I had this thought coming home yesterday on the flight about, maybe I should make a video about how to survive as a modern airline passenger, and how to get through all the bullshit with ease with a minimum of fuss. And I was going to say things like, Orlando International's security screening, the TSA, they're actually all right. They joke with you, they're friendly, the pre-check line is always open, and they're efficient, and they don't really give you any shit. And then in Vegas, McCarran International, it's the exact opposite. Those people are fucking goons who deserve to be shot, and it's a small miracle that they haven't been. And I was gonna just go through a list of things that I've learned in the past year, because I've gone on like 12 or 13 flights at this point. So I've earned almost 20,000 points or whatever for Spirit Airlines, which is crazy because I normally never travel, but this year it's been a trip to 3-leg hop. So 6 flights in December. Well, I guess that's last year, but we'll count it as this year. 6 flights in December, because 2 stops. Well, no, make that 4. Sorry. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3 hops. Never mind. So 3 hops, then another 3 hops. So that's 6 flights. Then 2 hops, which is 8, and then what I just did now, 10, and I'm going out again to visit a friend. So that's going to be 12 flights this year. I like to think I've learned a bit about how to navigate the bullshit at the airports fairly smoothly, and I was going to offer some tips and tricks on how to be an obsequious, obedient slave and avoid trouble. And then it occurred to me, fuck that. The bullshit that the TSA subjects us to is such a vicious insult. Every goddamn bit of it is completely useless and worthless, and it accomplishes nothing, inconveniences everyone, and it commits the cardinal sin of treating every fucking passenger, every paying passenger, as a criminal. that they just haven't proven guilt for yet. And I fucking hate that. It's supposed to be a core principle of this entire country that we are innocent until proven guilty. If you think I'm a criminal, fucking prove it. And get the fuck out of my way while you're doing it. And, you know, really intelligent people like Bruce Schneider, Bruce Schneider, excuse me. He's been a long-time privacy advocate and general good-thinking person. He's also really brilliant. I mean, he's got more degrees than God, and he's worked on computer security stuff for a long damn time, so he knows his shit. But every single thing that happens at an airport in the name of security and protecting passengers is complete bullshit. Every bit of it. And you don't have to nitpick at individual stupid things, because all of it is stupid. And we shouldn't have to endure any of it. And what I'm saying is, yeah, they really should get rid of the fucking metal detectors and the security screening. All of it. Get rid of it. Completely. And leave it to individual people on airplanes to pick up, hey, somebody's doing terrorist things. You know, if some guy is screwing with his shoes, kick his ass. If it looks like mid-flight some asshole's trying to get into their bag and fidget with what looks like a fucking bomb, kick his ass. But what the fuck good does it do to treat literal hundreds of millions of people every goddamn year? Well, I don't know if it's hundreds of millions, but millions of air travelers every year, and treat them like criminals. Make them take off their fucking shoes because one dipshit tried to set his shoes on fire one time on an airplane, got caught before he did it, before he succeeded, and got the shit kicked out of him, and now he's rotting in prison. One guy does that once, and now we all have to take off our shoes and loiter in an area that reeks of wet socks, of sweaty socks, because, you know, you've been walking around. It's just so retarded. And they fish through your bags. For what? Oh, you could pack a bomb. Yeah, you know what? You can pack a plastic spoon in your backpack, go on an airplane, and scoop someone's eyeball out with it. You can, you know, my dad showed me how to make a lethal weapon out of a rolled up newspaper. He showed me that a few years ago, well, about 20 years ago. It's fucking funny. You roll it up at an angle so that it's got a pointy tip. And then you just put it on somebody's eye, and there you go. They're dead. I just told you how to make a weapon. No gun required. How cool is that? So, I mean, it's just retarded. Utterly stupid, and none of it does any good. It's, you know, not a bad idea to, what do? The X-ray luggage, which is fine. We're talking checked luggage that goes in the cargo, the belly of a plane. That's okay, because, yeah, you could pack something nasty and check the luggage and then never get on the flight, and boom, you've just blown up an airplane, which is bad. And so, sure, that's reasonable. And, you know, keeping secure areas of the airport secure through physical security, like, you know, you don't want passengers walking out on the tarmac, and you keep employees only areas restricted with you know, badges, which they do, so that's fine. But all of the visible public facing security screening and all that shit, it's utterly worthless. And they seriously just need to get rid of it. I think the worst thing is, since the fucking useless Department of Homeland Security was put into place, they don't even let family members go to the gate to either meet people that, you know, are coming in, or to send off family or friends and hang out with them while they're waiting for their flight and say goodbye. That's fucked up. And people just accepted that like it's nothing. That's ridiculous. So we're talking about having to rely on individual airline employees that are overworked enough to escort like 10-year-old kids from through security and into all the way through security to the gate and hang out with them and make sure they get on the plane. That's scary shit for a kid that's never flown before. Like, okay, Johnny, well, mom loves you. Here's a total stranger that I want you to trust, and they'll get you on the big scary airplane. And then when they get to the receiving end, they're equally dependent on an overworked airline employee to get them to baggage claim and get their luggage back, get them all through the airport and dropped off with someone they trust on the other end. It's retarded. It's such a vicious insult. They treat us like cattle, and it's fucking stupid, and it needs to go away. So, I'm not gonna make a video about how to, keep your head down and avoid trouble with the, fucking airport security. I'm just gonna talk about or advocate getting the fuck rid of it, because it's just useless. I think just about the only thing that's remotely tolerable would be a metal detector. And there should be absolutely none of this bullshit of checking boarding passes or... Oh, okay, I guess we're not paying attention. They shouldn't be checking boarding passes or IDs to get through a metal detector. That's bullshit. They just screen you to make sure you don't have a fucking gun or a knife or something like that, and that's the end of it. Let people through. It's so stupid. Anyway, that's my rant. I'm kind of quietly joining a few organizations, legal ones, so, go fuck yourselves, you stupid narcs. But yeah, I'm kind of just joining a few different organizations that focus on real...
Please press the blue button for ticket to enter. Please press the blue button for ticket to enter.
Please press my testicles against your mouth. But yeah, so I'm not going to say what orgs they are because some people will get offended by it. Not that I really care, but I have to acknowledge the reality we live in. And no, they're not bad. They're not terrorists or anything, but they are. One of them is pretty maligned, as far as I can gather. But I'm gonna start getting more politically active in trying to push back against a lot of this horse shit. Obviously, my attitude towards the attempts to mandate vaccines, I'm going to help push back against that too. Because, the funny thing is, there's kind of an interesting argument being waged in the Supreme Court, at least it was last week. There's a case being considered by the Supreme Court that could overturn Roe v. Wade, which is the abortion rights law, or decision that legalized abortion in all 50 states, and made it really hard for individual states to ban abortion. And the funny thing is, they're using the side that's arguing for getting rid of that or overturning it, in effect overturning it. Shut up, car. Uh-oh. Okay, yeah. So yeah, the reasoning that they're using to try to argue against Roe v. Wade and overturn it, it's the same reasoning that's letting governments convince people that it's okay to get vaccinated or to mandate vaccines. The idea being, the government is now asserting that it's got the right to dictate what medicines you have to take, even as adults. So you don't really have bodily autonomy now, do you? because you don't have a choice. You will take this drug regardless of your objections. And the federal government has already mandated that, or has already tried to make that assertion. And it's been getting shot down in court, but the argument is still sound. At least this argument against the Roe v. Wade decision. If the government wants to assert authority to override bodily autonomy when it comes to simply injecting a vaccine, we've already given that up. We don't have bodily autonomy anymore because the government says it's in charge. So why can't the government also override your bodily autonomy when it comes to abortion? And the logic is sound. I don't agree with the premise that we don't have bodily autonomy, and I think all of the pro-vax assholes that get upset about people who don't want to get vaccinated are missing the forest for the trees. There are legitimate reasons not to want to get vaccinated for different vaccines, especially the Chinese flu vaccine, because it was rushed to market. It was not thoroughly tested, nearly as well as any other vaccine. It's had more side effects that are legitimate. There are real side effects that have affected some people. Not many, but enough to make it a real concern. And, it's all to reduce symptoms of a disease that doesn't really affect most people. And the vaccine doesn't even prevent transmission. You can still catch the Shaolin shakes even if you're vaccinated. And you can still pass it on. You can carry it, and you can pass it on to other people, even if you're fully vaccinated. All it does is reduce the symptoms or eliminate them. And that's it. That's all it does. So, it doesn't actually stop the disease. It doesn't stop the infection. So you've got this kind of risky drug that doesn't really do a whole lot. And yet governments all around the world are getting really violent about it, or starting to get violent about people taking it. So anyway, I took the shot. I mean, I took the Pfizer one. So I got 2 doses, and I'm going to go be a good boy and go get the booster. But I'm in a low risk group, so it doesn't really matter that much. But still, it should be my choice. It shouldn't be forced on me. So I disagree with the premise that the government has any kind of authority over bodily autonomy. But since it wants to make that argument, and seems to be making headway with it, it does make sense that building from that premise, why shouldn't the government have authority over bodily autonomy when it comes to abortion? So, all these people clamoring for mandatory vaccines, they're kind of setting up the legal justification to make abortion illegal across the board. And I don't know that these useful idiots have really thought about that, because most people that are in favor of mandatory vaccines, they're pro-choice. So you guys are bending yourselves over and getting ready for a self-own here. But anyway, I'm going to start getting more politically active, and I'm going to try. I think I may set up another channel for that garbage, because I don't want to mess with my gaming channel too much with that. But oh shit, I should probably go to work instead of sitting in the garage. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. And again, rest in peace, Aunt Lynn. I love you, and I miss you already. And if there is something waiting after this life, I hope you're up there, and I hope you're comfortable and happy, and I hope you're with Bud again. Tell him I miss him too. So, right. Have a good day, everybody, and I will check in with you later. I do plan, believe it or not, to do some live streaming this weekend. Try to get out of this funk and do something positive. So, catch you guys later. Thanks for listening.